any illness to your nearest health facility. If you or your family member experiences any fever, coughing, vomiting, diarrhea, skin rash, cuts, sticks, bruises, or other conditions, seek medical attention immediately. The Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation and other outpatient departments in the respective areas are fully operational and equipped to provide adequate care. For more information, contact the Ministry of Health on 223-9705 or 223-9713.
Hi there, welcome to your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. In our headlines this afternoon, government purchased COVID-19 vaccine at twice the cost, PAHO approved. ExxonMobil chose Ghana 8.5 bill for local spending. Partisan removed from PAC chair, and meanwhile burnt out plane found abandoned on Kokwani Trail. Kanu looks for pilot. More news after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Opposition Member of Parliament David Patterson was finally removed yesterday from being the head of the Public Accounts Committee. Patterson removal was finalized around 5 hours 30 by a majority vote after a 5 long hours debate between MPs during the 29th sitting of the 12th Parliament held at the Artichang Convention Centre. The debate was over a motion tabled for him to remove from by the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance, Gil Teixeira. The motion was moved by the minister a little after 23 hours 30 on Monday, and the debate began immediately after and ended until 5 hours 30 yesterday. At the end of the debate, 34 MPs voted for Patterson to be removed, while 31 voted for him to remain. The 34 represented all 33 PPPC government members, and they joined the list the JLP, ANOG, and the TNM member Lennox Schumann. President of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alastair Routledge, has recently announced that his company has spent more than $8.5 billion on 600 local suppliers for the first quarter of 2021. As the subsidiary gears to hand this bill to Guyana, it should be noted that the government is still to audit the company's local content bill for 2020 and 2019, which amount to $39.9 billion and $24.3 billion respectively. The expenditure for 2019 to 2020 was also for investment to local suppliers. According to Guyana's contract with ExxonMobil and its partners, CNOOC and Hess Corporation for the Starbuck block, the state has a 2-year deadline within to audit these costs. If that time elapses, the costs have to be accepted as correct. It therefore means that Guyana has up to the end of 2021 to audit the local content bill for 2019 and up to 2022 to complete the audit for expenditure, which the company claims that was made in 2020. It should be noted, however, that Guyana failed to audit in a timely manner costs the company incurred for 2015 to 2019, and hence those have to be considered as correct. A burnt-out aircraft that is suspected to have been used in illicit activities was yesterday found abandoned in a trail located in the Kokwani Region 10. Kanu, in a press release, stated that some of its ranks, along with a joint service team, were deployed to the area to conduct the investigation. So far, according to Kanu, no illegal cargo has been found close to the site, nor were any humans remained located. As a result, it is believed that whoever the pilot might be is still alive. and the area Kanu is looking for that individual. Meanwhile, the government has purchased 200,000 doses of the Russian-made COVID-19 vaccine Sputnik 5 at a price that is twice the cost approved by the World Health Organization. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anti admitted to the National Assembly last Monday evening that the vaccine had not been purchased from Russia, but are from supplier in the United Arab Emirates. This came ahead of the House's approval of the 619 million dollars for the purchase of more COVID-19 vaccines. The government had recently spent approximately $1.3 billion for the purchase of the vaccines, $957 million for 200 doses of the Sputnik 5 vaccines, and $326 million on the 100,000 doses of the Chinese-made vaccine. Taking into account the concerns raised by the Guyana Bar Association in relation to the proposed amendments of the Police Act to allow of taking of DNA samples from persons in custody, Attorney General Anil Nandalal has committed to revising the document. Nandalal's decision to review the Police Act comes after the GBA released a strongly worded statement raising concerns over a lack of consultation as it relates to several pieces of legislation. The Guyana Bar Association highlighted specifically the amendments to the Police Act which allows for DNA collection, noting that the proposed change will create room for misuse and mischief by law enforcement. In a response to complaints, Nandalal said that the government has taken note of the concern raised by the GBA and will seek to have them addressed. You're listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. More news after the break. Stay with us.
How much do you know about this valuable yet finite resource? On our radio program, Guyana's Oil and You, we strike at the heart of every issue with informed views and credible data. The time is now for you to arm yourself with insightful knowledge on your oil wealth.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. The statutory meeting of GCOM scheduled for the discussion of the dismissal of CEO Keith Lowenfield and others was postponed yesterday after two of the APNU AFC appointed commissioners Vincent Alexander and Charles Corbin failed to show up. The meeting has now been rescheduled for next Tuesday. Earlier, PPPC appointed GCOM commissioners tabled three separate motions for the immediate dismissal of Lowenfield, his deputy CEO Roxanne Myers, and Region 4 returning officer Clement Mingo. The three officials who are currently before the court on charges related to electoral fraud were cited for a series of grave violations connected to the March 2020 elections after the defiance of the instructions by the GCOM chair to use the recount figures to find for the final results of the elections. Two brothers are wanted by police on the Essequibo coast after being fingered in a rape of a 12-year-old girl. According to sources, the suspect reportedly conversed with the 12-year-old before pursuing her to follow him through a detour route to the church. It was there that he allegedly raped her. We were told after this the suspect laughed at her mocking, then left the scene, and the child continued her journey to church. To date, no arrest has been made. Now, how does the second brother fit into this? Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News. And some sad news. Last Sunday, while walking on a trail at Perseverance Back Dam, Northwest District, 69-year-old William Bale discovered the partially decomposed body of an elderly woman being eaten by a flock of vultures. The dead woman has been identified as 97-year-old Ruby Williams. According to police report, Williams had refused to stay with her family and instead decided to live alone in a camp at Perseverance Back Dam. Miss Williams was last seen on June 10, sometime around 14 hours, walking alone in the direction to her camp. It is unclear how she died. However, it was reported that Williams facial tissues and other areas of her body were already eaten by vultures, which made it difficult to examine any marks of violence. Further, due to the advanced state of decomposition and damage caused by the birds, the body could not be transported for examination. Instead, a grave was dug and the body was buried for possible. That should be the body was buried. We tell you now that a taxi driver who allegedly threatened to shoot a cop on Saturday was sent to Kaieteur News to publicly tell the officer he is sorry. The taxi driver, Jermaine Carroll, related that if he does not return to the Brickdam police station with the evidence in this newspaper, that he will be placed before the court and charged with threatening language. As a result, Jermaine says that he will adhere to the officer's request to publicly apologize via Kaieteur News and Kaieteur Radio because he do not want to be charged. The cop who Jermaine is apologizing to is identified as Constable Jermaine Lynch, badge number 25477. Once again, Constable Jermaine Lynch, badge number 25477, who's attached to the Brickdam Police Station Traffic Department. Stay with us. When we return, it's going to be time for your COVID-19 update on your page 7 of the Kaieteur News that is dedicated of being blunt. It's time for your COVID-19 updates. 7 persons who tested positive for COVID-19 have died between Sunday and Monday. The Ministry of Health in its release reported that the latest fatalities are a 51-year-old man from Region 2, a 75-year-old woman and a 70-year-old both from Region 10. 2 males aged 84 and 66 alongside a 72-year-old and a 66-year-old woman also died. The deaths now take Guyana's COVID-19 death toll to 437. According to the ministry, their deaths were recorded over a 2-day period, June 13 to 14th. Further, the health ministry said 84 new COVID-19 cases were recorded, taking the total number of confirmed cases to 18,530. 22 patients are in the COVID-19 ICU, 112 persons are in institutional isolation, 1,378 in home isolation, and 2 persons are quarantined institutionally. To date, a total of 16,401 recoveries have been recorded. It is now time for your page 7 of the Kaieteur News that is dedicated of being blunt. The G7 leaders show that they are mostly about big talks and bigger disappointments. The world has a problem with climate change, time bomb, and these leaders from America, Great Britain, Germany, and other countries fiddle around with frivolous. Then there was an opportunity to demonstrate seriousness, anxieties that compelled serious action against oil companies playing games with the life of the planet and welfare of poor nations. The G7 leaders of the world's richest nations played the usual game of business as usual, with business coming out on top again. When big businesses and big countries continue to operate in these sly ways, they sicken the whole world. We are sickened by the lack of effort by G7 leaders to send the strongest message by seizing financing for oil and gas projects. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Let me remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at a newsstand near you or head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. I am Joshua Van Sleckman. Thank you for joining us.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
In Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean, it is time for the oil and gas sector by publisher of the Kaieteur Radio, encouraging you to join us this evening at 19:20 for the Wednesday edition, and immediately after that it will be followed by the National Outlook with GHK. This is Kaieteur Radio, the radio with a difference.
Guys, Guinea